Hello, Abigail here with the Tarotscopes for Libra season, Pisces sun, moon, and rising. All right, Pisces folks, we are coming off of the Pisces Virgo eclipses. It has been a lot, and the day we have that final Virgo eclipse, we are right into the fall equinox and into Libra season. I do have a video with the astrology for Libra season. I'll link it below. You can watch it there, but it is important to note that Libra season, especially the first few weeks, heavy hitters. Every planet that enters into Libra goes through this grand trine with Pluto and Uranus in opposition to Neptune, which is going to very much flavor everything, and that has a lot to do with why the cards look the way they do. Pardon me. But on the bright side, you're out of eclipse season. You're out of opposition season, which is Virgo. And we are moving into a time where there's a little more balance, and eventually we will get we're going to get Mars into domicile the minute we enter Libra season, and we're going to get Venus into domicile within a couple of weeks. So 2 planets in their happy place, which hasn't happened for a minute. A lot of the planets have been in their unhappy places. And so this is a relief. Mercury will also be in Virgo for part of the time. Not Virgo, into Libra, which while in Virgo, it is in kind of like a double exaltation domicile, which can be really good. It can be exhausting to know that much. So we are moving into Libra season where Mercury's a little less oinky and strong, a little more balanced and soft. So something to look forward to. But starting off, we have your archetype card, which is the kiss. This is a card about intimacy and connection. It doesn't have to be a romantic kiss, but it is about this kind of space where care and love and feeling all meet into the physical. And so this Libra season, I do think there's a good chance that there is a hint of romance for a lot of you out there, but there's also an ability to just connect. And I think that's really important, especially since you all have had some pretty intense astrology, honestly, for a minute. You've had Pluto on Pluto, you've had Jesus. You've had Saturn in your sign. You've had the North Node, which while the North Node is really progressive, it's really unstable. And it causes a lot of coming and going, especially with the South Node in opposition of friends and lovers and family that stay connected with us. So this Libra season is a chance to reconnect. It is a chance to share non-sexual intimacy and sexual intimacy, and to find a space for yourself where you feel cared for. And I do think especially our lovely North Node eclipse in Pisces was very destabilizing. It was on the 7th, I'm pretty sure, 7th of September. It was very destabilizing. A lot of good things are going to be a result of it, but there was also a lot of endings and a lot of final things. And so, hold that softly and honor that. And recognize that it has been hard and that you do crave connection and care. I think sometimes Pisces are given, a little bit of a pop astrology of being dreamers and able to transmute and move freely, which is true. You're mutable. But there's also a deep need to connect in the web of the cosmos. That includes relationships with people, relationships with animals and places and things. And Libra season is that chance to reconnect. It is that chance to share a kiss with the universe, in a sense, with those we care about, with our pets, with the plants we live with, to share intimacy with the spirits that we work with. And so, don't pass by connection, even if it's not the connection that you truly want in this moment. There might be a person who may or may not be ready for that kind of connection, but connect to those who are reciprocal. And the reason I think the beginning will be tough, we do have our delightful, lovely little 5 of Pentacles. It is going to be disappointing. We are going to feel something from that eclipse that leaves us feeling as though something didn't quite work the way we wanted it to. This is the card of disappointment. It's the card of investments that don't quite go the way we want. I think one of my favorite decks is the Way Home Tarot, and it has tomatoes that have rotted on the vine. It is that investment and care into something that doesn't fully ripen. And so there is that sense, especially at the beginning of this season for you, of not quite getting what you wanted, something not quite turning out the way you want. And I encourage you to take time to feel those feelings and allow yourself to um, really just exist uh, and process that so that you can move forward and um, open the path for other things. If you don't sit with your pain, it will come back to be processed later and can get in the way of being able to accept other stuff if you let it be bottled up. And part of the reason I say this is we have a lovely Queen of Cups. This season is about reconnecting with self, it's about regrounding after the wildness of the eclipses. It's about pouring into yourself. I love that this figure is pregnant. No, you don't have to be literally pregnant. If you are, congrats, and I hope you and your spirit baby are doing well. But this is also like emotional fullness and tenderness. It's also about birthing new parts of ourselves, about tending to um, innocent, intimate spaces that exist in our body and soul. It doesn't have to be a literal child, but there is something that is being processed and being um, germinated in your life right now. And maybe you're aware of it, maybe you're not, but you need to emotionally tend to yourself to fully understand what is going on and what is happening. Partially because there are some victories in this season. We love a good Six of Wands. There's some victory for you in this season. There's a celebration. There is something to feel proud of and to gather people together and to really treasure and uplift. And that's kind of why I was saying, let's sit with this eclipse stuff and deal with it and honor it and face it for what it is. So that when the celebration comes, we can see it and we can fully invest in it and truly enjoy it without this kind of pull of regret or sadness, or I haven't fully accepted that something happened that was harmful and painful to me. Um, the Six of Wands can be a lot of different things. Maybe a celebration at work, maybe a celebration between friends, maybe it's a relational victory, something you've overcome. But there is something here in Libra season. It's very likely, I would say, around the new moon in Libra. So keep that logged away. But there is joy within the having to redirect, within the eclipse energy, within the external pressures that can feel like a lot. We do have the card of Libra. We have our lovely justice. And some stuff is going to be rebalanced and remeasured and set right. If you are feeling out of sorts, out of balance, this is the season where that is going to be regrouped and brought together. Also, a reminder, you are, as a Pisces placement, you are in conjunct whatever's happening here. It can lead to a feeling of disconnection, but I also find when things have been rough, heading into an in conjunct season can feel good. Now, you have planets in Libra, it might be a little different, but in the very least, the stuff that you have happening in Pisces is getting a little bit of a breather, especially once Venus gets out of Virgo and all of the planets have passed through Virgo and all the planets have passed through their things. And you're going to get a trine with Mars. So there is this nice sense of energy kind of flowing back into you, and the oppositions, which tend to be confronting and frustrating, clearing a smidge, which we love. Then, last but not least, our lovely King of Swords, powerful, strong, um, graceful, wise. We are being asked to connect to the more cerebral parts. It's nice because, like I said earlier, we do have Mercury over in Libra, very much tied to that Justice card, but also here about kind of organizing the mind and stepping into our power. And also, it's a belief in intuition, especially a belief in intuition when people challenge that intuition. So, in this season, when people come up to you and tell you that you're wrong or you're making a mistake, ask yourself, would you like the life that they have? And if you don't, maybe don't worry about their opinion. Also, I find that people whose life I would like do not usually come up and tell me how to live mine. And that's why they have the life I would like. Um, so yeah, this is a time to really ground back into our um, channels of thought. It's also time to do a bit of a cleanse. I feel for some of you, you've got a lot going on. I would encourage this to me during eclipse season. I will give this to you, a head wash. I really wish I could remember the name of the creator they sent, but just know this is not mine. But it was a combination of cloves, hyssop. I like to add mint as a nice little refresher. Um, also, why can't wormwood? Just a nice, and then you basically steep it like a tea. I use a reusable tea bag. You can use non-reusable one or put it through a strainer or put it in one of those little tea balls. Brew up a pot, cool it off so you don't burn yourself, and then pour it over your head. If you are sensitive to stuff, oh, also frankincense. If you are sensitive to stuff, you might want to rinse it off right away. I like to leave a little bit in my hair so I can smell that spices and it kind of adds for the spiritual cleansing. So do a head wash, y'all. And also because Pisces rules the feet, do a foot wash as well at some point. Maybe the same herbs, maybe different ones. Use your spidey senses to go through your cabinet and pick out the ones that you think will benefit you. But cleansing both the top and the bottom. In Western society, we don't honor the feet enough. Maybe anointing them with some of your oils, just giving them thanks and gratitude for carrying you this far, especially since you are a Pisces and that is a part of your story. You also rule a lot of things like the lymphatic system and a variety of stuff. A lot of hormonal things live in Pisces. But yeah, that's just my tip for this season that kind of came from spirit. You are welcome to use it. Like I said, not my idea, but I appreciate the information I got. Anyways, that is my reading for this season. Do some sort of cleansing ritual, my dears. If you like my stuff, like and subscribe, and have a blessed Libra season. And I'll see you in a different space and time.